other media appearances while in Australia, will you please welcome a man known to us as Dr. Smith from Lost in Space, but to his parents as Jonathan Harris.
Here, watch it. He's very sensitive.
Is
watch
he?
It. Yeah.
What's he sensitive to?
To everybody and everything except me.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Actually,
now, I've been watching in the green room. You
Yes.
put a moustache on that nice lady.
I beg your pardon?
She had a moustache.
On Bronwyn Bishop?
Yeah.
No, that's what threw me. You said that nice lady.
Well, I thought she was a nice lady.
Oh, but enough about me, Jonathan. Let's talk about you. I do love show business. Now, the makeup lady wanted me to ask you this question most particularly.
Yes.
How did you change your underwear in space when you were a stowaway on the Jupiter 2?
Never wore any.
Good answer. I often wondered if that velour felt comfy against the skin.
It was really rather nice.
Skivvy's not a good look, though, I never thought.
Well, they were very hot, those costumes. I hated them.
Really?
They looked good, but they were hot. And the lights are hot.
Yes.
And the whole thing was a bore.
The entire Lost in Space was a
No,
bore?
the costumery was.
Oh, I see.
Oh, no, Lost in Space. Good heavens, no, I loved it. I had the best time of my whole life.
Well, as somebody had seen every episode 140 times, or so it seems. Or was
Yes.
it just the one episode repeated? I do get confused. Tell me, to those of us the young innocents watching Lost in Space, what was some of the dirt going on behind the scenes that we just could never have known about?
I'll never tell.
Well, that was Jonathan Harris. Well, for instance...
No, there was no dirt. We worked too hard.
Of course there was dirt. What about the monkey?
Well, I had it on with the monkey. Debbie loved me and I loved Debbie.
You've got to get that monkey off your back. Now, I heard a terrible rumour that the monkey's teeth were removed.
It was awful. She was de-toothed because she bit Angela Cartwright twice. Very, very hard. And
It's very, very hard to bite Angela Cartwright, or...
No, to bite.
Oh, I see,
Yes.
right.
And the boss gave orders that if we were to use Debbie anymore, she would have to be de-toothed. She showed up on the set one day for the second season, and I went to the trainer and I said, "Good God, how dare you do that to the poor monkey?" He said, "Watch out, she could gum you to death." They're very strong, you know.
They are very strong. Billy Mooney, Will Robinson, were you like the rest of us and just wanted to kill him?
No, I loved him.
You loved him?
He's a wonderful actor, you see.
Really?
I love wonderful actors.
He just hid that under a bushel.
Yeah. No, it was a marvelous thing for me to work with him. Kid actors, you know, you say, "Oh, God, animals and kids, forget it." But he was really wonderful. He's a wonderful actor and a very dear friend still.
Oh, well, that's very nice.
Now, aren't you going to ask me why I'm here?
No, I know why you're here, because we invited you. All right, look, yes,
It's
why are you here?
plug time,
Oh,
Andrew.
plug, Jonathan, plug away.
Well, tomorrow night, Friday, is my last performance at the Seymour Center. And I hope that all of my dear friends who have not yet come and bought a ticket will come and buy a ticket and say farewell properly. The Seymour Center. I do a lovely show with that one.
That one. Does this one talk? Hello, robot. Hello, robot.
That does not compute.
I should have guessed, shouldn't I?
A Neanderthal ninny, if ever I've seen one.
Now, that's an interesting point. Did you ever, because you dreamt up or worked out all the insults.
Every one of them, yeah.
Did you ever come up with any the producers wouldn't let you use, you know, like you aluminium asshole or something like that?
No, I don't use language, you see.
Oh, I see.
Oh, I'm a very sensitive type. I never say asshole or anything like that.
No. And I'm glad to see that tradition continues.
I made up all of those. I was up all night dreaming them up and used them the next day. I loved doing that.
Your favourite being?
Bubble-headed booby.
Of course. You bubble-headed... Oh, no, you do it.
You know, it came into the language. It really did.
Yes, it certainly did.
And
Now,
it does not compute. Has appeared in the language, so to speak.
yes,
really.
every time NASA sends up a space shuttle, just about. The other thing you used to say a lot, of course, was...
NASA, indeed, I was there.
Yes, every time NASA sends up a space shuttle, just about. The other thing you used to say a lot, of course, was...
NASA, indeed, I was there first.
Yes, I know. It was the pain, the pain. Now, what I never understood is you're a doctor. Why didn't you prescribe some painkillers?
Well, you see, I was a doctor of gynecology.
Oh, I see.
I decided that. I decided that that was my field.
That does lead on to the other important question. In that very first episode, Don and Judy exchanged a very meaningful look and, in fact, a touch. Did they ever have a role in the hydroponic garden?
Not on the screen.
I think we'll leave that answer. Ooh! God, I'm turning into Woman's Day. It's pathetic. Let's go back to that first episode, because there was a very different Dr. Smith there. Let's just see the original Dr. Smith.
I hated him.
You hated him?
Sir, but I still have to turn you over to the officer of the day.
Naturally, don't apologize. You've got your job and I've got mine, eh, soldier? Calling Aeolus 14 Umbra. Aeolus 14 Umbra. Reporting, mission accomplished. I have reprogrammed the robot. His power has been activated. Exactly 8 hours after launch, the robot will destroy the spaceship with all hands aboard. Repeat.
Oh, dear. Now,
Hated
Dr.
that
Smith,
man.
why? What happened to him?
He was a deep-dark, snarling villain, and he bored me, and I knew there was no longevity in him. I'm an old, experienced actor, and I knew that they'd kill me off after the first episode, the 4th episode at least, and I would be unemployed again. So I started to sneak in my little comedic villainy bits, for which I'm justifiably famous, thank you very much. And then, can you believe it, for the first time in my vast career, I was given carte blanche to do anything I wanted. I couldn't believe it.
Really?
It never happened before, and never happened since to me.
Well, you've almost got it now.
Yes, yes.
Almost got carte blanche now. So, Dr. Smith, you evolved the simpering,
Everything
whimpering,
you
sickly...
saw and heard, I wrote and did. Or rewrote, you see. And I developed the whole relationship with that one, you see, with the robot.
A very close bond. Actually, I have a question for you a bit later, but before I do, along the way with Lost in Space, you met up with, well, a fairly, can I say this, pissy range of monsters. We've got a brief recap here of some of them.
The memories, yes.
What was the most pathetic monster you had to deal with?
Well, they all smelled.
Really?
The costumes smelled.
Yeah.
Really. And we had one lady monster, whom I called Madam.
Yes.
But I thought it was very funny. No, it was marvelous. They were all grotesque.
What about the vegetables? I always thought they were pretty funny.
That was the worst episode in the entire world.
Really?
The Great Vegetable Rebellion, written by one of our very best writers.
Yes.
Who had just run out of ideas. Because when he delivered the script to me, I looked at it and I said, surely you're kidding. You don't really mean this. He said, I don't have one idea left in my head.
How do you keep a straight face when you're being attacked by an enormous legume?
Easy. Really, it's very easy. And I worked with a llama. Remember the llama? No. He had a llama once who wanted to kill me. Yes. I refused to do a two-shot with the llama.
Right.
So they had to wire up his mouth so he wouldn't attack me, and he was always grabbing me in the crotch.
You seem to have...
I think the llama had designs upon my body.
Yes.
That's what I think.
Well, actually, your body at the age of 80 is still remarkably spry.
Oh, God, I'm famous for my body.
Just before we go, I'm afraid, I hate to do this, it's a fan thing, I'm afraid, and it's to Robert. Robert, I'm afraid my food processor has always been a big fan of yours and just wanted to ask one question, if you don't mind. That's enough.
That does not compute.
Yes, I thought you were going to say that. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please thank the robot and Jonathan Harris. Thank you, Robert. Oh dear. 60s television, I spent